Hi everyone, today in Integrated Math 2 we're going to go over Chapter 7, Lesson 4. Here are the objectives. Make sure you write them down in your notes. So, one thing they want us to learn is just how to write an indirect proof. And they give us the steps to do this. Step 1 is to identify the conclusion you're being asked to prove. Then make an assumption that the conclusion is false by assuming the opposite is true. So they say something is congruent, then you say something is not congruent. It's the opposite. Then step 2 is to use logical reasoning to show that this assumption leads to the contradiction of the hypothesis or some other fact, such as definition, postulate, theorem, or corollary. Step 3 is to point out since the assumption leads to a contradiction, the original conclusion, which we were asked to prove, must be true. So for our example here, example 4, we want to state the assumption necessary to start the indirect proof of each statement. So for this one, they're saying that segment XY is not congruent to segment JK. Well, in order to say this, we have to, the assumption that we are making is that XY is actually congruent to JK. So that one's pretty simple. Then we have this next one. So if 3x is less than 18, then x is less than 6. So we have that. Our conditional statement is that x is less than 6. But we can say a negation of the conditional statement, negation of this, is that x would have to be greater than or equal to 6. It's just, notice we flipped it around, our inequality sign, and then we added the equal to. So that's our negation of it. Okay, so angle 2 is an acute angle. Well, we can say if angle 2 is an acute angle that is false, then angle 2 is not an acute angle. Then that means if it's not acute, then it must be a right or obtuse. Because if it's not acute, then the only options are that it has to be a right or an obtuse.